Jacob Fatu is the star of the bloodline, and LA Knight is back in form. Welcome to Allison Analysis, the show where I rate wrestling shows using only emojis. What's the time? It's Tiffy time because Tiffany Stratton opened up last night's SmackDown. And I hate this saying, but if it fits anyone, it fits Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has aura. She was cutting a great promo, and then Bayley came out, and Bayley was fired up. Nia Jax then followed, and the dynamic between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton with now this Money in the Bank briefcase involved is just so interesting. Dare I say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it almost makes me want to see Nia Jax beat Bayley at SummerSlam, just so we can see how things develop between Tiffany and Nia Jax. Overall, this was a good opening to SmackDown as it really established Tiffany Stratton as a main player in the SmackDown women's division now that she has that briefcase, and also, of course, it built to Nia Jax and Bayley at SummerSlam. It gets a thumbs up from me. This led straight into Nia Jax versus Michin, and this was a fun match. Michin looked great in defeat, and the crowd, well, they were loving it. They were on fire for this match. Jax getting the win was obviously predictable. We all knew it was going to happen, but still, the match gets a thumbs up. It got the crowd fired up. It was a fun opening match. Bayley attacking Nia Jax a bit randomly after the match I thought was quite surprising, but I do quite like it. I like how Bayley's not suddenly, just a fully blown face once again. I like she still has a little bit of a heel about her at times. But my thumbs will go straight back up because up next, Tiffany Stratton teased a cash-in. She almost cashed in on Bayley, but Nia Jax stopped her, and there's tensions between them already. I'm really enjoying this. We then had an interview which was filmed earlier in the day with Andrade and Byron Saxton, and Carmelo Hayes interrupted this. This was decent. It did its job. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes could be a really fun match, or even potentially a feud if it goes longer. I am enjoying when SmackDown do these very short segments which, create storylines for future weeks, because I feel like it's now more harder than ever before to book a 2-hour show because there's so many top stars in both WWE and AEW. So it's hard to get everybody on a show. But SmackDown doing these short segments, hyping up matches for the next week, I think is a really successful way of doing so. Up next, we had the unlikely duo of Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews taking on Berto and Garza. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we got Baron Corbin doing dives to the outside before GTA 6. But this match was a lot of fun for what it was, and I'm glad Legado got the win. I'm glad they're getting a bit of momentum, and I'll give this a thumbs up. My question is, where do Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews go from here? Are they going to stay as a tag team? Are they going to go their separate ways and split up? I'm unsure. I'm unsure what the future is going to be on the blue brand, but I'm excited to see it. Next up, we had the news of the night, as we found out the script for Pretty Deadly the Musical has been completed. Yes, boys! In all seriousness, the interaction between Pretty Deadly and Chelsea Green when they were in that queue was just absolutely hilarious. I don't know why it was so funny. Just Chelsea Green and Pretty Deadly had natural comedic chemistry. It was amazing. If they are going to go ahead with this Pretty Deadly the Musical storyline, and I'm not exactly sure how they go about it, but I would love to see Chelsea Green as the director, just so we can see these guys in more segments together. But yeah, that'll get a thumbs up from me. It was hilarious. We then had what was the segment of the night up to this point as Cody Rhodes was sitting backstage and Randy Orton joined him. Orton told Cody that he's not only got his back against the Bloodline, but he's also got his back against any future challenges that Cody may have. This suggests that Randy Orton has no intentions of winning the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes, and I'm sorry, but I can't believe that for a second. And that's why I think this promo is starting to lay the foundations for the upcoming heel turn of Randy Orton, and we'll talk more about that later in the show. But this backstage interaction gets a subtle round of applause from me. A Knight, yeah, then came out and he cut the best promo which he's cut in a very long time in WWE. He went out there and he managed to get the crowd and me hyped for this upcoming Logan Paul match, which, let's be real here, it feels like they've been building for like a year now. I remember in WrestleMania season, everyone was saying, it's going to be LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and obviously it wasn't, but it's felt like it's been built since then, and it's just gone on and on and on. But Knight now has a contract, SummerSlam, Logan Paul versus LA Knight, and this promo, he delivered it perfectly, his best promo in quite a while. It got everybody hyped for this match. So Mr. Knight deserves a little bit of a subtle round of applause from me. Right, so Naomi versus Blair Davenport was a decent match. But they've been hyping up Blair Davenport for weeks about how she's better than everybody else, nobody's on her level, and if anybody thinks they are, they should step up. And Naomi did step up, And she was better than Blair Davenport. Before I go any further, let me clarify, it is perfectly fine for a wrestler to lose their first one-on-one match on the main roster. That's fine. But what's not fine is after you've been cutting these promos, which Blair Davenport has been cutting, you can't go and lose your first match. It makes you look stupid. And yeah, Blair attacked Naomi later in the show backstage as well, but the attack was nowhere near brutal enough for it to feel like a big deal. So unfortunately, I have a bad feeling that it won't be long until Blair Davenport is stuck in catering, and I really hope I'm wrong about that. I really do. A-Town Down Under then took on DIY in a tag team title rematch, and this was a lot of fun, nowhere near as good as the match last week, but it'll still get a thumbs up. But my issue was that this was not built up at all, and it wasn't even announced like ahead of the show. It felt so random, and I don't like title matches being random. Unless, of course, it's an open challenge, but this was not that. This was just completely thrown together, random, and I did not like it. Or I did not like the booking, I should say. So I'm going to give the booking a thumbs down. I feel like tag title match, you should hype up a bit more. Hype up the rematch. Even if you're going to plan to do it the next week, hype it up on social media. WWE can do that, but they chose not to. But after the match, Jacob Fatu took out DIY brutally. I mean, this guy looks so good in the ring every time we see him, and this gets a thumbs up. The rest of the bloodline then closely followed, and Solo Sikoa said that if Roman Reigns does return, then he's going to need to acknowledge Solo Sikoa, and I cannot see Roman Reigns doing that. Cody Rhodes then came out, and it was just all kicked off. It all turned into a scrap, and Randy Orton soon came out to try and make the save, but the numbers game was simply too much. But what was interesting was Randy Orton took most of the attack from the bloodline. Cody Rhodes was just tied up in the ropes while Randy Orton was being put through a table. And earlier in the night, Orton said to Cody, "I'll help you against the bloodline. I'll help you against any future challengers." And Cody Rhodes didn't even say to him, "Oh, I really appreciate that. And if you ever want a title shot, just come to me and we'll make it work." Cody didn't say that. I really feel like this is leading to the Randy Orton heel turn. I think we're going to see an RKO out of nowhere in the not too distant future. And this is going to be the feud of the fall. And I love heel turns when they make sense, like this. Orton's going to feel hard done by Cody. He's done everything for Cody, and Cody's not paid him back. And that's when the heel turn happens. It's going to make sense, but Orton's going to take Cody out so brutally. The fans will still root for Cody. Well, at least most of them will. And I think that feud is going to feed generations. But yeah, that Bloodline beatdown segment, it can take my money. It was excellent. But overall, this was a mostly filler episode of SmackDown, but that Bloodline beatdown and the LA Knight promo, along with the chemistry between Pretty Deadly and Chelsea Green, saved the show, so I'll give it a thumbs up overall. The performer of the night was LA Knight. I mean, that guy, he's back on form. That promo he cut was brilliant, and he got me back invested in his feud with Logan Paul. But the moment of the night, of course, it was the beatdown on Cody and Randy Orton. Jacob Fatu is looking like an absolute beast right now. He is looking like the highlight of the bloodline. And in fact, he was very close to getting Performer of the Night just for being involved in that beatdown. But what did you think about last night's episode of SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you do like wrestling content. I do these Allison Analysis 3 times a week, plus WR News Monday to Friday, plus WR Daily, our 45-minute podcast every single day here at Wrestling Republic. We will see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Peace.